So guys, this is a new haircut that I have right here. I know this one may not make me look as good, for example, but it is pretty hot in the summer, so I'm trying to be practical with my own body heat. So I might style this later on once my hair gets a little bit longer. But here we go to this very deep video that I have. A deeply complex realization with some intercepted information regarding family dynamics that I have is deeply troubling, so to speak. And with some revealed messages, I uncovered a troubling find to why my parents act the way they are. And for long-time viewers, you all already know that my family is emotionally non-existent. But what my mom just said here and other findings that were inferred about my father has brought me to a crossroads of ideology. And for background knowledge, you guys know I've both complained, vented, and spoken to my parents based on stances and other situations, and it's just different worldviews that are constantly clashing together. The original history about my parents was that, according to oral history, the legend said that my parents immigrated from their Philippines homeland to move to the US or any Western country in search of better opportunities. And I assumed that my mom did not like the fact that she was living in the Philippines and the conditions are bad there, so, and then took a road to the Western countries by taking advantage of the nursing shortages in the US around 1970s, 1990s, took that advantage to eventually naturalize and become a part of the US. And I assumed that, obviously, this was a struggle, nonetheless, but it remains nonetheless linear. Got it? Escape poverty and go to a Western country. And my dad also is from a similar story, first generation kid of whose parents also moved from the Philippines to the US, but he holds a conservative complex view, although his history is not as known. But a part of that just shattered, and I'm solving a puzzle of complexity because my mom said on her phone to a churchgoer along the lines of, I wish I didn't move to the US if it wasn't for my parents. I had a lot of friends in college and I wanted to live in Korea or Japan to meet them and live there with them. I had my hopes focused there early on in college and I never really wanted to go to a Western country, but my parents made me. In a second life, I would have met a Korean or Japanese boyfriend instead, if there is one, with her quoting some random attractive character from some K drama in a picture text. I realized this connected a portion to why my parents are emotionally dead, despite my mom having some kind of great and kind parents. She is emotionally hot because societal factors too and cultural conditioning in the Philippines, and a bit of media because, well, at the end she never really got to complete her dream or the life she imagined to. So she is definitely on that radar, so to speak. And my dad, along on the other side, they met at a dog auction, and he was more logical and conservative, and he wanted a wife who would, well, submit to him and follow his ideology, so to speak. And my mom, on the other hand, was emotional but never really agreed worldly with what my dad did. But then again, they transferred with each other, and they did the S word thing, and then they eventually created a family. But the thing is that because of that unfinished business, my dad's parents might have wanted to do other things. They wanted to do something else, and my mom definitely wanted to do something else. Because of that unfinished business, so to speak, some of that emotional deadness was transferred to everyone else in the family that I'm living in right now, in the immediate family. So I'm beginning to understand why now. Because at the end of the day, is that both my parents have nothing to lose, so to speak, other than the physical jobs and money they have. But they have lost their dream life. They lost their life where they wanted it to be how they wanted it to be. And now, because they made children, they're now required by law to raise me and my other siblings. But the messages and other things that were intercepted reveal that they wish their life would have gone differently. They wish, that not that they would have not met each other, but they did things differently. And they wanted me born. Yes, they wanted this me born, but only under the conditions that they called would be best for them, so to speak. And this is not. And this family is emotionally dead, I'd say, because of unfinished business. No one did what they wanted to do. That then connects distantly to everything else ideological I'm experiencing and the bike theft that I've experienced. My sister said when I was calling her that the police won't do anything. My dad, although trying to be logical, told me to stay put. Mom was purely hysterical, telling me that I was a bad person and I deserved my bike to get stolen. And my brother was mostly neutral. They all put the blame on me. Even my dad saying for me to go to a psychiatrist for my actions because although I do admit my actions were reckless, staying put in a gun threat is already dangerous in itself. So, but the catch is here is that without the way I acted in that situation, the PD would not even have an investigation to start with. And some ways my own defiance of my family in that situation is what paved the way for justice. And that is currently ongoing and I still can't reveal details. But beyond that, is that this family that I live in is just hopeless. I'm just saying that out there. And it's not an abusive household. It's not like the American strict household where teens have to come in by like 9 p.m. because they didn't complete a part of their life to be even talking about the micro things, so to speak. So that's why they don't watch as much. Um, the family that I live in is, but rather, it's a broken family that's transferring their, well, broken essence because of two collisions of two dreams that never seem to complete each other, or dreams that never met. That is a troubling find for me, so to speak, just to know that that happened the way it was, but I don't know.